Okay, today we're going to make something really different. You know, I had been reading a cookbook, Passport to Survival. I bought all those wheat berries, so I've been doing a lot of research on wheat. And in that Passport to Survival cookbook, it mentions like making artificial meat from wheat gluten. And that got my brain churning a little. And then I just happened to watch a video by Emmy Made, and she has a fantastic channel. You should really check her out. She makes all kinds of recipes. She has one that is a hard time series, and it's really interesting, and she just has such a nice persona. I think you'd enjoy her channel. But this time she was making a recipe that she saw on TikTok, and it was chicken, in quotes, made from gluten. So you know what I said. I gotta try it and see, what does it really taste like? Does it taste like chicken? Is the texture the same? Inquiring minds want to know, and if you're one of those inquiring minds, stay tuned. Now, I am changing a little. She was using all-purpose flour. I am going to grind my own all-wheat flour. Why not? So I am using 2 cups of wheat berries, and that should give me about 3 cups of flour. And here we go, our beautiful flour. Now it's time to make some dough, so let's add a little water. And mix it up. And yes, my hands are clean. Okay, we still need a little more water. You're just mixing this up like you would bread dough or anything else. Knead it a bit. Get that. Working with it. It's just a little sticky. Make it into a nice ball. That's good enough. I'll leave it right there. We're just going to cover it with foil. We're going to keep it on the counter for 1 hour. Okay, Google, set an alarm for 1 hour. Okay, here it is. Goopy on the bottom. Now, we have to keep washing this with water. The idea is, we're going to knead it in the water, trying to get out all the starch. Can be kind of therapeutic. Oh, it just went all over me. And you can see how milky the water has got. And that is all of the starch. So I'm going to change this water several times. Well, more than several. Maybe as many as 7 times until we get it more transparent. So I'll be back when that happens. Well, I've done it several times. We'll put some more water in. You can see it starts out clear, and then what you do is you keep on playing with it. It's just kind of therapeutic, kind of fun, like a big squeezy ball. Okay, but can you see? It becomes the color of milk. We don't want that. So I'm going to be doing several more water baths. Just so you can see the difference. Now see, if I press this, it's starting to still come out just a little. But we're getting to the point where it's not so much like milk, but there's still some in there. See, look at it. We'll do this a couple more times, and then we'll be done. Okay, I think this is the last one. You can see there's just a little bit of murkiness in it. Pretty good, huh? Do it one more time, and that'll be it. But just look at how much smaller this is than when it started out. That's good. I think we'll get into the next part now. Now I'm just going to use a little of this chicken bouillon. I'm going to try to put some of that on there. And then some poultry seasoning. And then we're just going to mix it in. In there well, maybe a little more poultry seasoning. It will come out. Because I am sure this has hardly any flavor on its own. You know, now Emmy mentioned she had like curds in hers. I really don't see that. And she kind of made a knot, but I don't really think that's necessary. Smoosh it out a bit. Okay, maybe just a little of a little bit more seasoning. Now, we're going to let this stand again for an hour, and then we'll be back. Just going to put a little oil in here. Well, maybe a little more than a little. Smoosh this around. Put on it. Okay, our object here is to brown both sides. Okay, I'm really flipping it over because I want it to get a little bit more solid. Okay, we're just going to let it brown on both sides. Be back when it's done. Okay, I just flipped it, getting brown. Get it brown on the other side. And then we'll go to the next step. Let's see how it's going. Oh, that's looking good. Time for the next step. So I'm going to pour in some chicken broth. But you could just use bouillon and water. You know, whatever you have on hand. Okay, about a half a cup. We're going to let that come down a little bit. It's pretty hot, and then put a cover on it. So we're going to leave it covered for 45 minutes, but I'm going to come back and check and make sure that all of the chicken broth doesn't disappear. We don't want it to go dry. And I'm going to flip it so both sides get in the broth. Be back in 45 minutes. Here it is. Every time I added chicken broth to it, it seemed to expand. Kind of looks more like a brown pancake. So let's dish it up and see. Okay, here it is. Put on a little pepper, salt, and let's, well, just so you can see it, it is rather meaty looking. See the taste here. Not completely. I've absorbed up all the broth, so it kind of tastes like the broth, but it's more mushy, you know, than chicken. But if you were in a desperate situation and you didn't have any meat, you could make this, maybe top it with a little gravy, and you know what? It wouldn't be that bad. Now, did this turn out like Emmy's? No, Emmy did a better job than I did, right? Maybe I should have twisted it and pulled it more and put it into a knot before I cooked it, because this turned out more like a giant pancake. But would your family say, boy, does that taste like chicken? I can't believe it's not. No, they would not. Did though really absorb the broth, so it's not that bad. And maybe if you had gravy to drizzle on top, you know, excuse me, if you didn't have any meat, this might be better than just nothing, right? And you made it only with gluten and some spices and broth. So, and you could use bouillon, so use stuff that you have in your pantry. Would I make this again for my family? Oh no, I would not. Not unless I absolutely had to. And I have 2 freezers full of meat, so hopefully that wouldn't happen. But it was an interesting experiment. It doesn't make me gag. It's pretty juicy. It's kind of more like eating bread that has soaked up the broth, maybe at the bottom of your soup bowl. Like I said, it's not that bad. But I go off on tangents, and my last tangent was using wheat berries, right? All the things you can do with them. For now, this is my last wheat recipe, my last wheat experiment. But I hope you've enjoyed the series, and as always, please subscribe, thumbs up if you like the channel, and always, always share the knowledge. Thank you.